Hello, thinkers. Welcome back to the Apex Mind. What if I told you that spirituality and philosophy, both of these two things are not too different? They both hate science, and I like both of them. Okay, let me explain. So, see, understand this. When it comes to knowledge, there are three attitudes that you can take. Attitude number one is to believe in something. Attitude number two is to not believe in something. And the middle part is to be skeptical of something. Right? These are the three paths that you can take. Now, the thing is, people have a different conception of knowledge. People understand things to be either logical or illogical, and if you're logical, you're good. Science is logical, science is amazing, and if you're illogical, you're bad because of obviously, like you are contradicting yourself. I don't have a problem with that line of reasoning, but I don't agree with it. I'll tell you why. So, when it comes to science, a lot of people do not understand the core tenet of science, which is the philosophical axiom of science is that the material world is true. Science believes this marker is true. Science believes this whiteboard is true, but in actuality all both of these two things can only be true if you assume your senses, my senses, and everyone else's senses are giving them the right information. What if all of humanity, hell, all of biological life forms see these physical objects as different things? For example, uh, a dog sees a whiteboard in a red color, we see it in a white color. So when we are assigning color to it, are we going to call it a whiteboard or are we going to call it a red board? You see the problem? The problem is that reality is democratically voted upon. Now, my contention with that is it is coming not out of a place of non-belief, it is not coming out of a place of skepticism, which science, by the way, claims it does. Even if science doesn't claim that it comes out of skepticism, the proponents of science, scientists, and forget scientists, you people who want to be logical, they conflate science with logic. It's not the same thing. So science is actually a belief in the material world. This is what science is. Science is not skepticism towards the material world. Science is not non belief in the material world. People claim it is skepticism simply because science refines belief. Refining belief does not mean it is skeptical. While on the other hand, there is another branch of things, which is philosophy. Philosophy believes that we ought to be skeptical. Philosophy, when it comes to the material world, is very skeptical, right? Philosophy doesn't automatically assume that the material world is true. It questions it. It questions the senses. It questions the mind. And because it questions a lot, because it tries to notice patterns, that is why my channel runs on philosophy. It's everywhere, right? Patterns are everywhere. But something that people dismiss is spirituality. And I don't agree with that because spirituality holds non belief in the material world. Philosophy believes that there is a spiritual world out there. Philosophy believes that the material world is false. That is why they believe in gods and deities. They have their own reasoning, but you can't simply dismiss spirituality just because it is opposite of the popular consensus that is science. Just because something is impressive does not mean it's true. Will you have said that 2000 years ago, when everyone was making hymns about Lord Indra, or people were believing in deities and gods everywhere, that that was somehow better than science? You would have said that because most people are believing the most popular path. Right now it is popular to like science, so it's not about the rigor of the methodology per se. Yes, you might like science because of the rigor, but emotionally you like it because of the popularity of it. It's the most common path. And therefore, moving forward, on this channel we already discuss philosophy a lot. I don't bother with empirical data and science simply because it is already something a lot of people are doing, and it's the job of the experts to do that. It's not my job to run experiments, like put down money and make shit up. I mean, not literally make shit up, but like make experiments up in which you can prove empirical things. I'm not interested in observation beyond philosophy, right? I like questioning, I like noticing. But another thing that this channel is going to evolve into moving forward is going to be spirituality. And the reason for that is because it's fun. Yes. Another reason for that is because this is a very less discussed aspect, and where I come from, philosophy itself is looked down upon somewhat, and fuck it, I'm going to dive into another field which is also looked down upon, which is spirituality. That is why I like reading spiritual books. That is why I like doing mantra sadhana. That is why I like trying esoteric practices, not simply to add flavor into my life, but rather simply to run my own experiments in fields where people might be running experiments, but most people are not aware of that. I hope through the means of my channel, just like I have developed a very niche community in which people are now appreciating philosophy a lot, people want to question ethics, people want to notice patterns, people want to think deeper, people want to explore the fundamental axioms, that now I can also increase that curiosity towards things like spirituality. So that is also going to be something that is going to be discussed on the channel moving forward. We're moving from a purely philosophy based channel to a philosophy plus spirituality based channel. I'm not going to simply promote spirituality, but I want to be as explorative of spirituality as I have been of material things, right? Because it deserves its own importance. And I think I have already been discussing spirituality anyway. This was more so an official announcement. So, anyway, uh, see how I did it? I noticed patterns. Why? Because you should too. Because patterns, they're everywhere.